Welcome back to Scores Are Central. I'm going to call it that. Sounds official. Um, if you don't know, I've recently been advised that I acquired the virus that everybody's talking about around the world, and I'm kind of in the throes of it still. And I'm in and out of consciousness a lot. I'm not taking anything. I'm just doing the over the counter thing because I think I got a mild case of it. But the NyQuil PM is always effective. And so I'll sit down if I'm not feeling good and I'll take a little swig of that nighty night, man. It works every time. It works every single time. So I'm just waking up from a little nappy poo. And before I went on my little nappy poo, I had um, got up to date on the games in progress. About 8:15 in the evening on the West Coast as I record this. So far we're 11-2. We got two money line victories tonight. We'll touch on those. But the real thing is I'm trying to get this over 500. We're real close. We're real close. We lost a little bit of ground because we're 11-12 right now. But let's go see how we're doing on the rest of these games. Maybe we should talk about the money line victories first. First off, this half point's killing me. Oh, I thought this was done, and then a cat from Xavier got an offensive rebound and somehow got a 3-pointer to go. We're at the buzzer to pull us within our margin here. So that was a delivery from God, and it's much appreciated. Half point got us. There'll be a little theme here tonight. Um, yeah, half point got us. Half point got us. It happened like a couple more times too. Half point got us again here. That damn hook, it's deadly. Uh, I think there was one more of these. I thought, a little gift from God we got. It comes with a little payback. Here it is. Another half point that went against us. So I mean, what was that, 5? So Temple is a better team than Tulsa. They traveled to Tulsa. Computer said they'd win. Vegas had Tulsa land 3.5, and they did win. And this is all recorded in another broadcast. If you want to look through the files, I talked about all these games before. When I was setting the lines and stuff. So out there, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. And then this UMBC is just simply a better team than NJIT, and they proved it. 20 points, and imagine Vegas had NJIT laying a half a point. We said it'd only be 5, but wow, 20. 20 is impressive. So that's our two money line plays tonight. Okay, I don't have a final on Bradley and Evansville, so let's go check that out. Now you can't see what I'm looking at here, but I'm just going to go to one of these college sports lines and get the final 79-47 Bradley. And we said Bradley would win ever, and they did. And so that's another one for the computer. So what I like to do is I like to go ahead and enter these as I get them. So Bradley 79-47, they're in the Missouri Valley. There's Bradley. And if you're kind of confused what's going on here, every team has a profile. And within this profile are the calculations that are being done. And you'll see, if just watch this number right here. As I slide Evansville's overall power rating into Bradley's strength of schedule column. Oh, crap. Let's see if I can get down there. Yeah, okay. You see that's changing. So that's the computer doing the recalculation after this game got entered. And this was 47-79. And you'll see these numbers move as we're even entering the scores. Um, it's just it's a spreadsheet, and it just does its calculations. The Google Docs version of this is very slow, but I'm asking it to do a lot. The computational power needed to do what we're doing. We got 35 conferences. That's not all of them, with at least a dozen teams in each, and they played about 15 games so far. So whenever we enter a score, it recalculates everything right from day one on down, and so that's it's asking quite a bit to keep up with. Okay, so that's entered. That's a win. And here's Drake and Illinois State. Let's take a look how that finished. 86-75 Drake. 86-75. We wanted to get to 10.5, and looks like we did it. So you get a half point work for us this time. So, all the belly aching we can do about the half point getting us, it sometimes saves us too. But they're also in the Missouri Valley. Drake, 86, Illinois State, 75. So once the night's done, I'll re-rack the rankings because the rankings they're changing every night. It's just simply based on the system that I've developed, and I'll touch on it real quick here before I hit this. So over here, we have defense divided by offense. Okay, that's what this is. And let me just do this real quick because that box is covering it up. Go back down to where I was. If you scored more points than you allowed, this number is going to be under 1.0. But look at Indiana State. They've allowed more points than they've scored, so that number is over 1.0. We take Indiana State's and everyone else that Illinois State has played, we take their overall power rating, we slide it into their strength of schedule column, and we add them up and divide by the number of games played. That gets us our strength of schedule. We multiply what I call D/O, defense divided by offense. We multiply that figure times that, and we get our overall power rating. So let's take a look here. So 10.97 is their strength of schedule. So when you multiply less than 1.0, this number is going to be lower than that. They have met and exceeded the level of competition. Not by much, but they have. So that 10.65 is lower than that 10.97. Now over here, when you take a 1.04 multiplier and times it by 10.35, it's going to be above it because you have not met and exceeded the level of competition because you've allowed more points than you've scored. So that's really it. Now, there's a lot more to this, but that's the basics. That's the basics of what we do here. There's other filters, and there's mins and maxes, and other things that I've developed over time. The brain just isn't working so good. Okay, so we're on Illinois, and what was that score? Illinois State, 75-86. So let's get them entered. So you got to do both profiles. So in case you're wondering, I've used this system for many years, most notably in Washington School Athletics. And they adapted their playoff system. They included my data into their playoff system for the seeding purposes for football after about a dozen years of yelling at them. Because how they did it before was terrible. And they realized it, and they finally came around, and I was proud to be part of that. We got some things changed. We helped some kids, and that was the main goal, because we were hurting kids before. It was really miserable to watch. All right, so that's a win. We've entered that score. But now I'm just focusing on college, and I want to just focus on college. I'm sort of done with the high school ranks, even though I'm getting a lot of people, saying they miss me, they want me back. And you were one of the highlights. We loved following you, and it's like, but 12 years they didn't make a dime out of anything, and it wasn't about making money. But there is a business opportunity here that I'm interested in exploring. SMU in South Florida, and people are like, can you do them both? No, I can't do them both. SMU 77 to 65. I don't think we get there. We need 14 and a half. We only get to 12. So that's a loss. We have to, that's the line. We needed to exceed that. If we, unless the play was down here on the underdog, we would have won, but we did not exceed that. So thanks, SMU. So they're in the American 77-65 SMU. What is that, South Florida? It is South Florida. I must have gotten a mild case of this beer flu because, I mean, it's not fun, let me tell you, but it's not the sickest I've ever been in my life. And people have told me that got the full bore thing that it was the sickest they've ever been. And I just can't make that claim. It's uncomfortable, but it's not the sickest I've ever been in my life. Okay. So the lower the numbers are, the better. And let's go back to the pick sheet. And take our lumps. All right, Missouri State and Southern Illinois, we're really pulling for the Redbirds. No, the Salukis. I'm sorry, Illinois State's the Southern Illinois is the Salukis. Missouri State, let's type them in here. 81-76, Missouri State. I think that's going to work for us. 81-76. Yeah, that's a 5-point win. 8.5 was the line. We played the dog. That is a ding, 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 ding. We go 4-1 on this string. That's going to be very helpful. The 4-1 makes us 15-13, and we're above 50% on the evening. Let's see what that does to us on the year. Right at it. Right on the money. 233 to 233. Okay, very cool. I feel like we're turning a corner. We got some more games. This may change, but we hit that little emotional peak there. We're not done. To think that 50% is as good as it gets now. No, we're going to do much better than 50%. So let's go back to the Missouri Valley. And it's Missouri State and Southern Illinois, 81-76. Yeah, I want to focus on a gambling website. But this system is also works very well for rankings. And people seem to be very interested in rankings. And we can do the game predictions. And I did 7 sports when I was doing high school. And, I could do all 7 college sports too. And not just, and, things you can bet on, things you can't bet on. If I had the time, I'd do women's basketball over Division II, men's Division II. Because women's basketball is, I don't know, I like it. I like it a lot. There's some interesting, it's way more interesting than the men's. You just need to know the backstories, and then it gets good. Okay, so that's a win. So we got that entered. But I want to do like college soccer, lacrosse, of course, do football, baseballs would be fun, and I'd like to do down to Division II at least in baseball. It's a ton of games, but maybe do some softball. Just need to get a little following going, and do this kind of every night. Just do some live streams, talk about the games, enter the scores, and that type of thing. Wichita State and Tulane. This wasn't working out for us too good earlier. Let's see how it finished. Yeah, that didn't work out too good. Tulane 68, Wichita 67. Oh, no, that did work. Sorry. That did work out for us well. We had the underdog there. I'm surprised that Tulane beat Wichita, but forgot we had the dog here. They're in the American. Yeah, that's a surprising victory. So Tulane 68-67. Oops. Just hope to get a little falling going. No big deal, you know. The last word in sports, but you have to admit you haven't seen this type of layout before. I'm willing to bet. Is it a computer? Yeah, it's a computer. But it's interesting and it's laid out. I like aesthetically pleasing things, and I think this is aesthetically pleasing. I try to make it that way, anyways. But what I really want to make it is understandable, and not too. If you ever go to Ken Pomeroy's website, my God, he throws so much at you. It's like I don't know what half this stuff means. Um, but and he doesn't really get on and tell anybody what it is. But he's the top gun, and credit to him, he does a great job. I just can't understand what I'm looking at when I go there, and I guess maybe it's because I'm not part of his newsletter or that inside thing that he does. Colorado State, I was really shocked to see that the computer took Utah State because Colorado State's a terrific team. Well, let's see how it played out. I don't have high hopes on this one. Colorado State. 77-72, Colorado State. That's a 5-point win and a half points. That half point got us again. But really, I thought it was a risky play to begin with. My heart and soul wasn't in on this game. Utah State's had some issues. It just seems like they're in the Mountain West. Colorado State, 77-72. Let's take a look at Colorado State. 10-1, 862 scored, 746 allowed. That's a good team. And what was it, 72-71? 77-72. Every night, just checking these boxes, filling them up with data, and the computer will just gain in accuracy the more information we plug into it. I just don't know how it wouldn't gain accuracy. 72-77. So, if you think about what we're trying to do here is we're playing against the Vegas line and we're trying to get north of 60% at least, at minimum. So this is really good at what they're doing, and I'm not relying strictly on what this thing's putting out. I'm not monkeying around with it. If like tonight, I didn't like that pick, but I still played it. I knew that this wasn't going to work out. I mean, now they haven't had a good stretch here. Now go to a monster, kind of, not really a monster, but they're a really good team. And I got all my hopes pinned on them doing well, and it's just a risk that I would walk away from that game or play it the other way around if it were my money. But we're playing with house money here, so who cares? UConn and St. John's. 52. Oh, there's still 9 minutes left here. 52-45. So, yeah, we need you to cover that 11.5, please. Boston College and Georgia Tech. And there's still now that can't be right. I gotta refresh this because that just it says 14 minutes left in the second half, and that game is underway before I took a little nap. And come on, all right. So we're talking about Boston College and Georgia Tech. Just waiting on this thing to load. All right. Why aren't you working? Oh, top 25. Man, these stupid websites. They're so dumb. Okay, that is a final. Georgia Tech won 81-76. We lost here. We lost here. That's a bummer. Kind of had that one counted as a win. Okay, into the ACC, 76-81, Georgia Tech. Start up here at Boston College. So the history of this little, what I call the scores are system is it started, I just couldn't figure out why one high school football team was so much better. The team that I was watching was really good. And then they went and played um, a nationally rated team in the state championship game. Got their, it was over halfway through the first quarter. It was just obvious that the other team was just loaded with talent, and the speed was incredible. And I thought, how can one team that was really good, how can they be? It was, it was 7 touchdown, and they took the foot off the gas. 7 touchdown, margin when the game was over. And so I just started recording scores and adding things and dividing them and just sort of messed around. Well, those two teams met again the next year. Now this time in the semis because they were on the same side of the bracket, and I knew it would be a different ball game because the scores were not as dramatic as they were the year before. And I was right. It was a completely different game, and the team that I was watching, they they should have won the game, but the they held this unbelievably strong offense to under 100 yards and no touchdowns. And they kicked like 5 field goals and ran back a kickoff the opening second half, ran it back for a touchdown, and that was the only scoring. And otherwise, they got shut down. But I knew it would be a different game. I still had the other team winning, and it played out exactly as the numbers were telling me. So I thought, this is strange. So one of the reporters in Washington that covers high school, he wrote a column. He said we need to do a better job of seeding our postseason tournaments. But we need some kind of ranking system. And, what do you use? Max Preps? What do you use? Well, I just wrote him back. I said, I think I got something. Now, this dude went to Kansas. He went to KU, got his journalism degree. I didn't know this. And I was doing college basketball, and we met, and he says, where do you got Kansas? I said, I got him number 3. And he says, all right, your thing works. And so I did a weekly column with him during the football season, and it was really popular. It had a lot of people checking it out. And then I just did a Twitter thing, and before too long, it was a thing. It was a totally big thing. And it lasted another decade, 86, 78, UConn. 86 to 78. And it was fun and I enjoyed it. And I made some really great friends and but it was just time to move on. This COVID thing, the way they were treating the high school kids, um, I just wasn't happy with how they were handled. So I kind of just punched out. So that's a loss because yeah, I only won by 8. So let's go in the Big East. UConn 86 to 78. UConn's been so good this year. The Big East is, always going to be good. Every team has certain elements that are really good, but in particular, Villanova, of course, Seton Hall is fantastic this year. Keep your eye on Seton Hall. Here they are. They're going to have a voice in the end here. I think they're going to go deep. Okay, 78 to 86. You have to put it in. This is St. John's. You have to put it in uh, from their perspective, right? They lost the game 78 to 86. And it may seem monotonous and boring, and it probably is. But the product it turns out is so fascinating that I just taking the little tiny micro steps along the way. It's kind of fun for me. We're losing our lead here. Let's see if Northwestern can bail us out. Maryland won 89 to 85. Oh boy. So we go 1-4 on that string. You never want to do that. We'll go check that in a minute. Let's go into the Big Ten, Northwestern. Let's do Maryland, 89-85. Good win for Maryland. Now they have better numbers, 85 to 89. All right, back to the pick sheet. Let's go check on our 16 and 17 on the evening so far. But we got four money line plays coming up here. And yeah, we dropped back below by 3 games, our 500 mark here. But there's like 9 more games left here. So Arkansas, Missouri. But I tell you what, man, if Arkansas doesn't win this game by a ton, I'm not going to play with them anymore. Okay, there we go. 87-43. I mean, Arkansas has been disappointing. And Missouri is awful. And I don't know how Alabama lost to them, but Missouri is terrible. But they beat Alabama. Wow. Just bizarre. But this is what I expected. Yeah, computer said 18-point win, and it's probably not done calc. Yeah, no, 40. Yikes. All right, Arkansas. You've got a nice warm spot in my heart now. $87.43. I mean, that's just not even trying, Missouri. We'll talk about Missouri here in just a second because it's fascinating. Google Docs, I'm holding the thing down and you're just not moving. Now, unless I dreamt this happened. Missouri beat Alabama at home. But Missouri, this is not a good team. They probably should have beat them by more. This was a good win because SMU is good. Florida State, they just laid down for them. Wichita, I guess that was close. Liberty is a good team. Probably could have had a better outing. Eastern Illinois is of the worst teams in college basketball. Yeah, that's appropriate. Kansas, they just give up. Utah, that was a good win. Illinois gave up. Kentucky gave up. Alabama, they pull out a victory. Strange, really odd. Um, and I don't know. I mean, why they're so bad? I mean, Missouri's had a good program in the past. I don't know. New coach. I don't know. But their numbers are really bad. Oh, I forgot to do that. And we'll get this one entered. Okay. I made a statement I do a pregame show where we talk about the pairings. And how about this is probably North Carolina State's last chance to make a go of it this season. They just not have been very impressive. And then they're at Louisville tonight, and you got to show us something. And they did. Good for them. So North Carolina State won 79-63. Good job. 63-70. Yeah, their back is against the wall here. So they showed a little character there. That's good. I'm really happy to see that. And I, won. So there's that too. Let's just go in the ACC. Louisville. And that score again was 63-79. I know I don't have all the energy in the world, but that is something that I have struggled with this little situation I found myself in. Is energy. It just isn't there. 79-63. Good win for North Carolina. I was thinking the computer was out to lunch when they said North Carolina State would Louisville would not cover. But yeah, fat chance, man. But they stepped up. Good for them. All right, this game. So this is a money line opportunity here. TCU. Now I like Kansas State a lot. They got some true grit. They went on the road at I think it was Oklahoma State, and they went on the road at Wichita. It's just a strong team, but TCU's got some really good numbers too. I fully expect this to go Kansas State's way, but let's go take a look here. TCU won 60-57. That's our third money line. Ah, those money lines are so sweet. Yeah, let's just borrow one of these. So the money line, of course, just in case you don't know, anytime we say that the underdog is actually going to win the game. So K-State was favored, laying 2.5 to TCU. We said TCU would win the game. That makes it a money line play. You can bet the money line. And so we did. We bet the money line. and I'll have to look, but it's probably like if I paid him if we bet $100, I bet you it's like 115 back. So you walk out the door with 215. So that's excellent. That's really excellent. Into the Big 12 here, and it was 60-57 TCU. I've been impressed with TCU. They've been good. And they play in the Big 12 where you got monsters, including what Texas Tech did to Baylor last night. I was pretty shocked. It happened at Baylor too. Baylor's just got that way of locking you down. They did it to Villanova. They did it to Gonzaga in the national championship game last year. Um, I mean, I didn't think Villanova would get to 30 points in the whole game they played this year. Just locked them down. But Villanova's not going to go to Baylor and disclose all of their weapons. Um, they're just playing their plain Jane vanilla offense, and why let their conference opponents know what they're all about. So you know you just take your lumps in that one. It was a horror show for Villanova there at Baylor that night. Okay, another money line opportunity here. We said Va Tech is just a better team than Virginia, just better numbers. But I know Virginia is always tough at home. So let's see what happened here. So it's a final Virginia 54, Virginia Tech 52. Okay, so we lose the whole way. So we lose on the money line, and then we lose here because they covered. So that's just a double. That's a double whammy. Remind me, I gotta go update that money line board. I'm gonna do it right now because I like adding them. That's our third money line of the night. 23 on the season, which started December 28th for us. You can't start this thing day one because there's no data. And the data that's there is just no good. I guess I should enter this before I do that. 54-52 Virginia in the ACC. What's this? How does that happen? I'm confused about Virginia because they've got such a good program and their coach is so good. And they used to play this lockdown defense, man, where it was tough to get anything out of them. Every trip down court was just a process, just agonizing process for the other team. And I don't see that this year. I don't see that defense that was so good, which is kind of a hallmark of Tony, his name, of the coach there at UVA. That's his hallmark, was that defense, and they're not showing it this year. I'm surprised they just maybe don't have the kids. Okay, Cal in Washington. Now, why would Washington be favored here? They've had a terrible non-conference schedule, and maybe because they're just not disclosing everything. But Cal's strong. They're at UW, so that's the only reason why they're getting the. Yeah, okay, Vegas was right. 64-53 Washington. Yeah, that home court kicked in, and Washington was sandbagging during the non-conference. It's pretty clear, and that's not a knock on them. Why wouldn't you? What have I done? Copy. Okay, it's not a knock on them. I mean, it's smart, but it screws with guys like me that want to get an accurate, beat on things. 64-53. I mean, you just look, up and down. They just, I remember Knight Winthrop traveled to Seattle and beat them. It's like, wow, that's not good. As we go up here, Northern Illinois beat them. That's really awful. Um, that was a respectable showing because Wyoming's a good team. South Dakota State, of course, is a really good team, and they took care of them there. And then Nevada just housed them. Winthrop, yeah, Winthrop. Here it is. They lost by 8 to Winthrop at home. Not impressive, but they've got their conference game on now, and we'll see what if the computer is too slow to react. Right now, it thinks Washington's is a bad team, but yeah, it'll come back around, but it'll never get rid of that non-conference. The computer will always have that. This is all it has, just whatever data we got in there. So it will always hold that against them. Okay. So we go 1, 2, 3, and 2 on that string. I hate when I do this. 19 and 19 on the evening. I just can't shake this 50% thing. Cal Baptist and Dixie State. Let's see what happened here. It is almost over. 69-67 Cal Baptist with 3 minutes left. 69 to 67. Santa Clara and Pacific, I expect this to be all of that. Let's see. At the final, 84 to 70. So 14-point win. Santa Clara is a good team this year. And Pacific is just Pacific, like they're always every year the same thing. They're just not good every single year. They're always. I just want to say the word dog shit, and I hope that's okay. They're dog shit. They're terrible, and they've never gotten better. 84 to 70, Santa Clara. I don't know why I get so mad about it. They just don't have the commitment to winning there. 84 to 70. Because if they did, they'd be much better. This is 113, but we're going to make that 112. I mean, it's like, you don't have to be good at this if you're just in it for the payday. I guess, that's one way of looking at things, but damn it. Why? I don't know why you would look at it like that. And plus, you get bigger paydays if you're good. But these college presidents, they're not sports people, so they don't really care about their teams, oftentimes. Man, if I was like a university, I'd be like, all right, man, let's get good at football. Let's pick a sport and just get good at it. Yeah, just a lot of cancellations here. They moved this game up too. Come on, Google Docs. I'm begging you to just do your damn job. I don't know what. I don't know why. It just doesn't work. It just sometimes it just stops. It's just ridiculous. So the real goal tonight is to get above 50% on the season. So we're right there. But let's get through these and see how close we are if we're not there. Okay, so that was a win. That score. Utah Valley and Seattle U. Utah Valley is the better team, but they're at Seattle, so they were the dog. Well, Seattle won 65-71. Well, there goes another money line opportunity, and that home court advantage just creeped up and got us. It's for real. Just it's not for real on every single game, but it is on some. The trick is knowing which ones. So Seattle used 71-65. We're here, so we'll do this 65-71. Seventy-one to 65. All right, that's a loss. Not helpful because I think we have another loss coming up. Come on. With Cal Baptist and Dixie State, that's not looking good for us. And Nevada and Boise, let's take a look. Okay, they're just starting the second half. It's 41-34 Boise. And we may not see that one through to the end. I'll have to add that one on later. But let's check in on Cal Baptist and Dixie. And there's a minute 40 left, so we'll hang with this one. It's 73-67 Cal Baptist. So we got a 6-point margin. We got to get to 9.5. We can count one win and one loss in the book, so we're going to stay at that 50%. Yeah, 20 and 20. And that's it for the money line as well. So I think we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, let's do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're shaded in green. 6, 7, 8, 9, and we converted 3 of them. So that's not a great hit rate, but it did identify those 3 money line opportunities, and they did convert. And if you look at the money lines, if nothing else comes of this little science experiment, we're good at picking money line winners. We're good at this. That's a good thing to be good at. The payoffs are just so much better with the money lines over the straight up plays. A guy could just make a living doing the money lines. All right, still a minute 40. I'm going to switch over to, here we go. Okay, I'm on ESPN, and they're more accurate and current. Okay, 76-75 Cal Baptist with 50 seconds left. So that's not going to work for us. There's no way that we're going to get another 8 points out of them. So that's going to be another loss, it looks like. So we have to wait till tomorrow, I guess, to see us get above 50%. We were right there knocking on the door. But, you got to do better than this, on a nightly basis to improve the overall. And we're just kind of treading water right now. But, if you look at this, look at where we came from. We started this, not as much data, 22%, 37%, shot up to 51, back down to 37, 47, 44. And we had a 1 and 8 night, and the one was a money line. Then we started creeping up and stayed up there. Oops, let's go the other way. So, we went from humble beginnings and, 50%, 54, 57, 50, 54, 50. Took a little step back here, 42. Last night we went 53, 54%. And, so we're consistently now in that 50% range. And when I've done this in the past, we consistently get up into the mid 60s on these winning percentages. So, um, that's when we're really making some money. And that's when, you know, we got a show, that I think people would tune in for that. All right, let's check in again, and I'm going to sign off. It's at a timeout. It's still 76, 75 with 50 seconds. So that's not going to go our way. So I'm just going to call it a broadcast here. So thanks for checking it out. And we'll do another pregame tomorrow. I'll get all the games set up with the point spreads and the predictions. Come on and we'll talk about them, and then we'll do a little live streaming later in the night and see how well we're doing. So thanks for checking it out. We'll see you soon.